Hello, everyone. I'm Fred Oakman here with Mr. Jake Peters. You're listening to PS This Is Awesome, a PlayStation podcast. This is episode 393. And we're going to dive into our thoughts on all things PlayStation in a few. But before we jump in, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PS This Is Awesome, where you can also watch the video version of this podcast. You can check out our trophy lists on the PSN. I'm Anchorless_81. Jake is JakeSaw01. Send your thoughts to psthisisawesome@gmail.com. Share the show with friends. Don't forget to rate us. This podcast airs for free every Wednesday on your preferred streaming platform. But for those who sign up to our Patreon for just $1 a month, you can join the one and only $1 club and receive a die-cut vinyl sticker in the mail, plus a shout-out on the show. So most times you also get the show a day or two early via Patreon. Visit patreon.com/PS This Is Awesome to support this podcast. Remember, if you like our podcast, it also does us a lot of good. Even if you don't watch us on YouTube, if you head over there, give us a like, give us a comment, and subscribe. With that out of the way, Jake, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. What do I want to say? I practiced. What am I saying? Dude, what did I do? I fucking
Dude, you gotta tell me. I don't know.
I went to the track on Sunday, and I am just dogging it. My fucking whole body hurts. It's like it's a whole thing, but long story short is, for me to go, I have to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to get there. And then I'm there. It was hot on Sunday, and I'm wearing freaking 30 pounds of gear in the sun, just going all out for ostensibly the entire day. Don't get home until like 6:30, and then by the time you unpack everything and eat dinner and all this shit, take a shower and everything, it's basically time to go to bed. And then normally I try to go on Saturdays, or I like to go on Saturdays, because then I can just get up the next day and it's Sunday and I can just rest or get a late start or whatever I want to do. But I decided to go Sunday this time because something. I don't know. I think, we were talking about maybe playing the show on Saturday. So I was like, well, just in case, because the weather's going to be nice, I'll book Sunday instead of Saturday. We ended up not playing because Nate couldn't do it, which is fine. But because I actually ended up having a shitload of stuff to do on Saturday. So it ended up working out.
Right.
But long story short, I ended up having to just basically jump right into bed and get up the next day to go to work. And it's now a Tuesday. We're recording a day late. And I'm still, dude, this morning I could barely open my eyes, and I really had trouble getting out of bed. It's like, they say like you really can't catch up on sleep, and I don't know how true that is, but I certainly feel it a lot more now. And I'm not even that old. I just turned, how old did I just turn?
I don't know. 36?
38. I just turned 38.
All right.
So, I've definitely been able to tell over the last couple years that suddenly I'm having more tendonitis kind of issues, and it seems like I don't have to drink hardly anything to get a hangover anymore. I think there was like a couple weekends ago, Sarah was like, "What's wrong with you?" I like literally was incapacitated on a Sunday because I think I had, over the course of 4 hours the night before, I think I had 3 beers. And I woke up the next day and I had the splitting headache. I was a little bit sick to my stomach. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I thought I was like actually sick or something. And then it's this, this kind of like high energy, high physical activity. It like just takes longer to recover from it. Part of it is because I haven't been exercising as much as I like to, but the reason why I haven't been exercising is because I've been fucking hurt on and off. And it's just like, I don't want to exercise if I'm dealing with like a tendon issue in my knee and then make it worse rather than make it better. And so Hockey starts on Friday, so we'll see how that goes. Usually, I don't want to jinx myself and end up getting hurt or something like that, but usually I end up having more energy during hockey season because I'm exercising a lot more. But I don't know how it's gonna go. But the weather was beautiful over the weekend, other than it being kind of hot. And dude, I don't know what it's like at your place. I know you've been kind of like working on some stuff around the house, but my fucking yard, I haven't mowed it in 2 weeks, and it is like a barren wasteland. There's like 3 spots where I need to mow it because there's like water and stuff. But other than that, I could literally just like rub my foot across the yard and all of the grass just disintegrates in a puff of dust. It is we have gotten like 0 rain here for like a month, and we're not supposed to get really any rain for the next 2 weeks.
Dude, so it's like Fallout New
crazy.
Vegas.
It's crazy. And I'm like, I'm on a well, and I'm not worried about us running out of water or anything. I mean, we've got plenty of water stored up from the beginning of the year where it rained a shitload. But like, it's like, this can't be good. Like, there's gonna be more like bees and stuff. Oh, one of the random things and then we'll kick off the rest of the show. Just one other aside. When I was at the track, so are you familiar with the phenomenon of the spotted lanternfly?
Oh yeah.
And how it's like an infestation, and it's becoming a problem in this part of the country. So I don't know about you, but at home here, I've seen very few of them. Like, I don't see them almost ever. And so I was like, oh, I've heard of this thing, but I don't really see it very often, so I don't, whatever. It's just kind of a news point. When I was at the track, which is like, it's probably about 30 minutes north of Pittsburgh, so it's south of us, about an hour south of us. And dude, when I was there, it's like a paved parking lot, the pits.
Yeah.
Everything was fucking crawling with these things.
Wow.
Like, they were crawling. Like, when I was between sessions and I'm sitting in my camping chair, like waiting or just reading or whatever, they would just be like crawling all over my motorcycle. And there were just carcasses everywhere, because for people that don't know, just look up the spotted lanternfly to see what one looks like. The government is literally telling people, kill everyone you see. Kill all the eggs you see, kill all the plants you see, kill all the larvae you see.
It's like hell divers up here.
Yeah, it's like they came in from China or something like that, and they're literally destroying ecosystems. So people are just literally all over the paddock, just stomping on these things.
They're
and
really
when you walk
big,
around,
too. For anyone who doesn't know, they're huge. They're huge.
They almost look like a moth, but imagine like a fly with like some weird looking kind of spotted wings.
Big-ass legs,
they're like the size of a... Yeah, dude, they're really strange. And they got this weird like beak, almost kind of flat face thing. They're really, really weird. They're unsettling. So, dude, I was just stomping. I bet I probably killed 30 lanternflies while I was sitting there waiting between sessions and stuff yesterday or Sunday. Crazy.
They are crazy looking, but there is something also kind of pretty about them. In a weird way.
they do look unique. They've got kind of like a lavender colored wing with like black spots on it. Like they are really unique looking. But they're bad news.
Yeah.
Sarah actually yesterday, last 2 days, we have a big oak tree in our front yard. Sarah found caterpillars for imperial moths. You know, the big fucking moths. Mm-hmm. The caterpillars are huge, and they have these big yellow spikes on their back. She found 2 of them, and so she made like a box with like a bunch of soil and stuff in them, and she captured them and took them into the school to like show her. Like, she works at an elementary school and a high school, to like show the kids, and like they will like pupate, and then in the spring, hopefully she wants to see if she can hatch them.
Yeah.
I thought on the bug front, that's the flip side. That's going to be pretty cool if she can hatch these giant fucking moths. It would be really neat.
Dude, fucking bugs are crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, well, but most of the time, I'm not really a big bug guy, but...
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not at all. But to piggyback on your Lanternfly story, dude, I went to there was a festival going on this past weekend, Saturday and Sunday, called Four Chord Music Festival.
Oh, in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So Blink and Jimmy played on Saturday. I didn't go. The tickets were expensive, dude. I think for like both days it was going to be like $240 or $250 a person. But I went on Sunday, and the reason I went
the trio play.
Oh yeah. So the reason I went on Sunday, starting at 5:00 on the one stage, and they alternated, which was kind of cool. Never did they have a band playing on both stages at the same time. And it was in a baseball stadium. It was in Washington. So yeah. I don't know what minor league team plays there, what team play, but it was AstroTurf. The whole the whatever is all AstroTurf. It was really nice. The first time I actually was ever on like a baseball field that had AstroTurf. It was cool. But yeah, they had two stages set up, vendors everywhere. But dude, think about this. Starting at 5:00 on this was the order of the bands. Drug Church, all right, Face to Face, Alkaline Trio, Jawbreaker, and AFI. Like it's just like wow. It's like wow, unbelievable lineup, dude. And I saw a lot of people I knew there. The show was great. I got myself some Jawbreaker shit, and I got a nice Drug Church tour t-shirt. Man, I love Drug Church, man. They're so good. If the listeners have never listened to a band called Drug Church, you guys really should check those guys out. Alkaline Trio is also a favorite of mine. Face to Face are a bunch of old school dudes that used to be on Fat Records back in like when I was a kid growing up. But dude, they're all fucking weathered, like they came off of a fucking ship or something. Like, yeah, they looked badass though. And I forgot how many great songs Face to Face had until they got their set going. I was like, wow, I recognize this. Wow, I recognize this. Wow, I recognize this song. And I knew the choruses. And I sung a Face to Face song for like 15 years. And as it all came back to me. And I was like, wow, these guys are great. What a hell of a show, dude.
Dude, was the guy, what's his name, from AFI, Davey Havoc, was he looking all fucking 80s?
Well, I'll be honest.
With his curly hair and his mustache.
So it was a Sunday show, and they didn't play till 10, so I didn't even see him.
You didn't stay. Yeah, I get it.
But it was a great lineup, and I only know one or two AFI songs, so... But yeah, I saw some of the pictures of that dude, Davey Havoc. He used to look like a comic book hero. Like, he just looked awesome back in the day. And now he just looks like some hippy-dippy dude who's just totally having like a midlife crisis. But no, hey, I'm not talking shit. I think he looks awesome no matter what. I really think he looks cool as shit. He's a trailblazer for sure. But I would have loved to have seen a couple songs if he still had that appearance to be singing in AFI. It would have been it's like Fred Durst dressed like a grandpa singing, like Limp Bizkit songs. It's just like there's just a disconnect.
So you're talking about like the early days where you used to dress in like leather and had the fucking had like the almost like the devil lock, the greaser hair.
Yeah. He looked fucking rad, dude. He looked like he came out of Infamous or something. Like he just had this persona, like he was just some sort of fucking badass. But yeah, dude, he was rad, Davey Havoc. But yeah, so I went to a concert and there were Lanternflies there. That's how I'm tying that into this. And then think just one other thing, and then we'll get into game stuff. That book series I've talked about in the past, that Lone Wolf Choose Your Own Adventure book. They just released a Game Found. Essentially, it's like Kickstarter for board games, and they met their goal in one day, so that's awesome. So the board game's like $100. It's got tons of minis. It's more of like a strategy. It's not. I forget how they were trying to explain it, but it's a 2-player asymmetrical game where it's like a map, right? And then there's like a mini board where I think skirmishes take place to determine who gets what parts of the continents. But there are like special cards you can play for influence and stuff, like. And then there's like, I don't know, it just seems really, really interesting. And what's really cool to me is that I love this labor of love taken on. Joe Deaver, was the original author, and he had died of cancer, and he didn't finish the whole series. And then his son Ben took it over and started a company and finished the narrative. Now all the books haven't been released yet, but they're releasing hardbacks. And you can get the softbacks on Amazon, but to get the hardbacks, I believe you have to order them from, I don't know where they're from. I don't even know where he's from, dude. I think he's like a Brit or something. So the charges are ridiculous. Europe, he's in Europe somewhere. So it's just like the charges are ridiculous, but I'm getting the whole collection, which is my goal. But then they released this strategy game, this miniature strategy game. It looks awesome. And it's called The Vengeance of the Kai, which is really cool. And if you go to GameFound, you can look it up. It's just Lone Wolf Vengeance of the Kai. It looks kind of like a Stratego or like Axis and Allies kind of style game, but it cleverly, from what I understand, uses story beats from the books that actually play out differently in the board game, depending on how you do the things. And different continents can be taken over by different factions, and it's almost like a alternate history of Lone Wolf when you play it. And there's a victor and there's a loser, which is kind of cool. But anyways, I just jumped onto that, gave my pledge, and I'm excited for that. But yeah, man, nothing else exciting this past week. I played a concert on Friday or Saturday, the day that Nate couldn't play with us, and man, it was a good gig, dude. It was fun, and yeah, it's been going pretty good. So I had yesterday off, which is why we didn't record. I got all thrown off. I was thinking yesterday was Sunday. Excuse me. But I took it off for recovery day from the concert, you know. But I still, I had to go to a doctor's appointment and stuff, and then I got ambitious and painted and shit and did stuff around the house. And that leads us to games we're playing. And every episode we talk about games that we're playing. And I have been on a mission to beat Death Stranding 2, and I finally fucking did it late last night, dude. So we're recording this on Tuesday. I had Monday off. As soon as I got done painting this room down here, I went up and I was like, dude, I think I can get through this game. And I was like, if I don't do it now, I don't know if I'm ever going to have time to do it. So I had like 73 hours in when I started yesterday, and I finished at about 81. So I probably put about 6.5 hours in yesterday to beat the game. And if I'm going to be honest, man, this game is so crazy. There's so much that's great about it. The story, true to fashion, you think you understand. Kojima writes these stories where it's like, while I'm playing the game, I feel like I understand completely what's going on narratively. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yep, okay, yep, cool. All right, we're back. Sorry about that, listeners. I don't know what the hell happened. Jake froze on my side. My internet, his internet, I have no idea. But we're back. Sorry for the week after week issues with the podcast, but you know, get what you pay for, dudes. But I guess what I was saying was the end of Death Stranding, dude. But I'll dial back just in case you have any commentary, Jake. I don't know what you heard, what you didn't hear. What I was saying was that Kojima writes these crazy, twisty-turny narratives that while you're playing his games, like, it makes sense. You're like, oh, of course, you know, and there's this crazy turn, like, that's so smart. You know, Kojima, he's always one step ahead on the stories, and these crazy set pieces and weird things and story narrative beats. And then, like, when the credits roll, I don't know what happened. You know, I couldn't tell you, I wouldn't be able to tell you what happened in the game at all. Like, if you're like, dude, what's Death Stranding 2 about? I'd be like, I don't fucking know. But when I was playing it, I knew I was 100% simpatico with Hideo Kojima and his story. Like, it made sense. I can't repeat it, though. It's weird. He has these really weird experiences that are really unexplainable, like these crazy stories. But, dude, at the end of this game, I'm not going to spoil it, but anyone who's played Death Stranding 2 just know it's just so off the rails ridiculous. Like, I was, like, laughing. And I'm like, is this real? Like, is this really what's happening right now? It was unbelievable. Like, funny, but also awesome, but also so, like, cheesy in a way that only Hideo Kojima could make it work. Like it was just unreal. The game was awesome. It's so cool. There is one final twist at the very, very end. You're like, okay, interesting. You know what I mean? But what a mastermind. This game was fantastic. Well worth the money I spent on it and the time I invested. I'm glad to have played it and beaten it as I wear my Bridges hat. Yeah, dude. I don't know. Is this a game? Do you see? I know that the 80 some hours. I have heard people beating this game in like 35 hours. If you just mainline the story, you can do it. But I don't feel that's the way to play it. But I wonder, Jake, are you interested at all?
I mean, I'm definitely interested in the game. I'm not interested in the commitment. At least not right now. I mean, eventually I'm sure I'll play it. But when I heard it was like twice as long as the first one, I was like, okay, well, I'm not doing that right now. There's too much other shit to play for me to, because if I were to sit down and play Death Stranding, what happened with you, where it's like, okay, I'm going to be playing this game for fucking 2 months.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to play this game for 2 months. I want to play like the fucking 10 other games that came out. Not that I will get to all of that stuff, but like, I'm liking being able to like play a game for a couple weeks or a week and a half or something like that, and then play something else, like between Mafia and Shinobi and stuff, where I can literally just beat it in a week or two and then move on to something new, and not that I dispute the fact that the game is probably incredible, but I don't want to be stuck with it for that long. Because if I don't just focus on that and I try to play other stuff at the same time, I'll never finish it. And the other caveat is like, I don't know if caveat's the right word, but the other point is that like, when I kind of skipped over that, I was not really looking to play a depressing game. And just like the dark, dreary fucking, like, there's no happy sunshine in Death Stranding. And I'm not saying that there aren't parts of the game that are beautiful. Obviously there are. But the whole world is dead. Like, that's the whole point of the fucking game, is the world is dead and you're trying to figure out how to connect humanity again. And it's, I mean, obviously I'm speaking for the first game, but I know that the second game is sort of a continuation, at least in some capacity. And, yeah, so to make a long story short, yes, I do want to play it. Yes, I will play it eventually, but I think I'm going to save it for a rainy day, no pun intended, because
just save it for winter.
Yeah, so it might be more of like a winter style game than me playing it right now. I'm trying to remember when I played the first Death Stranding. I think it was like last year. I don't remember what time.
Yeah, it was way after the release.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember what time of year I played it, because for whatever reason, whenever I played it, it really struck a chord with me. So I'm kind of curious what time of year that was, because maybe I'll try and target that again. But anyway, so yeah, I'm glad that you were able to beat it, and I'm glad that you liked it, because literally, if it wasn't for probably Expedition 33, it probably would be Game of the Year contender, at least as far as the critics go right now. Everyone seems to love it.
Yeah,
so
it's great. Well, as you were talking, I was thinking of all the different games I did miss because I was involved in this, dude. And it was like Expedition was one of them. Old Country's one of them. The whatever Ninja Gaiden Ragebound was one of them. Indiana Jones was one of them. So, dude, I missed like 4, possibly even more games because of this game. And that's what you mean by the time commitment. And I'll say this, though. It had been... I remember when I first started playing this game, where I was like, it just feels so good to play a game that's made so well Like everything about this game just felt good. It looked good. The acting was good. Like it was just like good. It was just nothing. I didn't have a gripe about it. It was just a great game. So at the end, that's why I don't really regret it. I mean, the game, it showed up. I like the first one. It's a continuation of the first bit, and it sat well with me. And this game definitely takes itself, I would say, actually just as serious as the first game, but there's definitely an intention to be more lighthearted in this game. It's so obvious, and it's so fun, man. It's such a fun game, and I didn't even do probably even 40% of the things I probably could have done. There were still whatever shelters that I didn't find. You connect the Cairo network and you get the continent, and you can see the blue areas are ones that you've connected. There's red areas where you haven't. It's just a matter of traversing the whole thing, and the game doesn't force you to connect every piece of the continent, which is nice. You are rewarded if you do, though.
Yeah, so it looks like I played it in like January into February of 2024 last year. So that might be right. It's just a game to kind of save for those winter doldrums, like something to just kind of feel the mood of the season. And yeah, I look forward to playing it when the time is right.
Yeah, dude, it's really good, and I kind of want to see. I didn't leave many trophies on the table here, if I'm being honest. I've got 41 of 55 trophies. So I don't have a whole lot left to go, 14 trophies short of a platinum, which isn't bad, actually. But
nice.
Yeah, so I did do a lot. I'm looking at some of the games that I've played in 2025, and it's been a good year, man. It's been a much better year than last year as far as game titles, Dude, look at your... And then, what are you playing right now, Jake? And then we'll look at these games that we've tackled, because I just want to talk about a couple of these.
Trying to remember where I was at last week. Oh, I think I was saying that I was gonna maybe play some more Oblivion Remastered or something. So what did I talk about Silk Song? So
maybe.
Josh and I do the game share thing. So he bought Silk Song, so I was playing that. Oh, I did talk about it last week because I said it like really wasn't really for me. Even though I think it's a really good game.
Right.
So I did play that for a while. And then come Friday, I guess it was like Thursday was when the reviews went live for Borderlands 4. And I saw that it got really great reviews. And I was like, okay, this seems like something that it just is like something I'm in the mood for right now. So I bought Borderlands 4, and you and I are on a group chat with LJ, and he asked how I was liking it because he's been playing it and he said it was pretty good. So he asked, and I was like, and I think my response was something along the lines of ordeal, but I just started playing it or whatever. So, dude, I bought this game, $70. I bought this game. It would not launch on my PS5. No matter what I did, it would crash every time I would launch it.
Man.
So I tried everything. I tried reinstalling it. I tried deleting my save files. I tried going into safe mode and deleting the system cache. I tried going into safe mode and rebuilding the database. I tried like combinations of all of these things. I tried like unplugging my PlayStation and replugging it back in. I tried all this shit, changing my network, all this crap. So, and there's like nothing. I couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on, and I was like, I guess I'm gonna have to call Sony and try to get my money back, because apparently my PlayStation won't play this game. And So just as like a last thing, I was just kind of doom scrolling the internet, like the Borderlands Reddit and stuff, trying to figure out if anybody was having the same issues. Because there was all these articles about performance issues and crashing, but it was all PC related. There was nothing on PS5. So which is normal for PC guys at launch. Finally, I found a Reddit thread that was the exact same problem that I was having. And someone was like, are you familiar in Borderlands? They have this thing called the shift account with like these shift codes and stuff.
No.
So like, there's like a login. There's like an account you can make for Borderlands specifically called the shift account, and you can get these like codes to unlock gear and like all this crap. And I don't know anything about it, but I just know it's like a way for you to link your Borderlands experience to an online account and do stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is broken, at least on PlayStation. You have to unlink your shift account from your PSN ID before you play this game, otherwise it won't launch. Because what would happen is the game would boot, it would go into the initial settings where it's like, set your brightness, set your fucking text size, set all this stuff. And then as soon as it loaded the main menu of the game, it would crash. Sometimes I would be able to click new game and it would ask me the difficulty, then it would crash. But I was never able to get any farther than that.
Right.
And so I saw this and I'm like, oh, ray of sunshine. I might be able to figure out the problem. So because I have played Borderlands in the past, I played Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 1. So I was like, well, maybe I have a shift account. Okay? And I don't know about this. Because I'm using the same PSN ID. What the fuck, right? So I go on the Shift website, and I log in using my PSN ID. And sure as shit, I do have a Shift account with my PSN ID. So I do all this crap work to unlink it. Like, you have to, because I didn't have an email associated with it. I didn't have, like, all my personal information in there. And it's like, if you want to unlink it, you have to first enter all this information. So I'm like, fuck, whatever. So I do all this crap, and I unlink it, and I'm like, oh, great. So I go, and I launch it on my PlayStation. It boots up, goes into the main menu. I'm like, cool, it doesn't crash. I go to start the game, it fucking crashes. I'm about to throw my controller through the fucking television. I'm so upset. And I'm not, like, upset to the point where I'm, like out of control. It's just, like, I spent all this money, and the whole reason I play on consoles is because I don't want to deal with this kind of shit. But this is, like, the world we live in now, where everything is fucking infested with online accounts and logins, and you have to be connected to the cloud and all this live service shit. And it's like, bro, I just want to play a single-player game. Why is this fucking me up? So I call my brother. I actually texted him, and I was like, hey, can you do me a favor real quick? Log into my account on your PlayStation, download Borderlands 4, and see if you can run it on your PlayStation. Because there was, like, some... You know, especially at the launch of PS5, there was a lot of stories of people who were having unique issues where games would not run on their PlayStation, and it was a hardware problem. It was not a problem with the software. It was like there was something wrong with those PS5s. So I was like, well, I have a launch PS5. Like, maybe I'm finding something, and I just dodged a bunch of bullets until now. And so I was like, well, maybe Josh will do it. And it won't work on his, or it'll work on his. I know it's a problem with my PS5. Well, I'm not buying a new fucking PS5. I guess I'm just returning this game. And so he does it. It crashes on his computer, or on his PlayStation, logged in with my account. So I was like, log in with your account and try and play it. So he logs in with his account, works totally fine. He's able to get into a new game, see the opening cutscene. He's running around a little bit, whatever. So he's like, real quick, I'm just going to log in back into your account and try it again. So he logs back into my account, tries it, works totally fine. He's able to get into it. He's able to play and do all this stuff. So then he's like, all right, I'm going to log out of your account. Now you try to log in on your... So he logs out of everything, and I log in on my PlayStation, it works. I'm able to get in, I'm able to play, and all this stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Is it that like when I unlinked my PSN ID from my Shift account, it just took like a half an hour for it to go into effect?
Or did Josh need to? Yeah, right.
Or did Josh need to like download it and like play it, and then like it jiggered something loose, and then all of a sudden now I'm able to play it? It was just like, dude, I spent because I was all jazzed to basically get up Saturday morning. I have the game installed. I'm going to get up Saturday morning, fresh start, got a new game. I'm just going to get going. And it doesn't work. I spent like 3 hours fucking around with this thing. And finally, we were able to get it to work. I mean, thanks to Josh. I don't know if what he did actually did anything, but while I was talking to him, it started working. So I'm going to give him the credit. And so I was able to get into it. And I started playing it. And I really like it, but I have a couple of complaints about it. So there's one of the things is that, and this isn't a huge deal for me, but I understand it, is that there's a big thing right now where they did not put an FOV slider in this game, and it needs one. I mean, it's not like FOV. Do you ever play with the FOV slider in games?
No, never.
So it's kind of a feel thing where, like, if the FOV is too narrow, the game, for some reason, it's really difficult to describe, but it feels like you can't see anything. Like, the game feels cramped because the screen is too tight on you. And this game, the default FOV feels a little too tight. Even though the game is open world and I'm supposed to see all this shit, I feel like I have blinders on a little bit. So that is something that bothers me. Like, I don't like a super wide FOV, but because it gives this weird like fisheye look, and the gun, that it looks really weird. But I do like it, wider than what the default is on this particular game. It's not the end of the world, but it is a little cramped. The other thing is that for whatever reason, this game is dark, like visually dark. Like, and if I'm not playing with, like, if there's any sunlight in the room and it's in like the night part of the day-night cycle of the game, I can't see fucking anything. So I know part of it is that I'm in a well-lit room. Part of it is that my TV is generally a little bit darker, but it's like I can't make it any brighter. And it's a cel-shaded game. Like, why can't I just make everything fucking bright? It's not like it's relying on these really fancy shadows or anything like that.
Right.
But the brightness is cranked and it still looks dark. Even when I'm playing in the dark, it looks dark. So I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe I need to disable HDR or something weird's going on. So I got to figure that out. But the other thing, and I've complained about this before on this podcast, and I feel like I'm fucking insane. But, dude, the first person, the look controls for this are unusable out of the box. To me, personally. I'm like, I can't fucking control this game. Who plays? Like, I've been playing first-person shooters on controller with dual analog sticks since Red Faction came out on the PS2. That predates even Combat Evolved, which is obviously where everyone got kind of their start on. Obviously it was before that with like Medal of Honor and Red Faction and stuff, but like, everyone really got popularized with Halo. And so I've been doing it since then. So I'm not like a noob when it comes to, I'm not like the best first-person shooter player, but like, I could pick up a controller and fucking play a first-person shooter and not feel like I'm drunk. And for whatever reason, the way that modern games, I don't know if they're setting the controller up for people who've literally never played a first-person shooter before, but the dead zone on the sticks is fucking huge. It's like, dude, the default dead zone for Borderlands 4 on the analog sticks is 25%. That means the first quarter of the move on the analog sticks, it does nothing in both directions. So it is like,
probably feels like really heavy, right?
Dude, you have to use these deliberate wide fucking twitchy motions to be able to control the character or the movement and the look. And the way that I like to play is I like to hover around the dead zone where I'm moving really slight motions. I like a really responsive, really linear move with my analog sticks. And it's like the way everything is designed now, it's like got these huge dead zones, these crazy acceleration curves where it's like dead zone, dead zone, dead zone. Okay, now I'm moving really, really, really slowly. And then all of a sudden you hit this knuckle and it zooms off away from you. Where you like spin around in a circle. And I'm like, what is going on? I must be fucking crazy because I don't see anybody else complaining about this. But it's like, how come I could pick up Destiny and that feels great. I could pick up Battlefield. I could pick up Call of Duty. Those games feel fucking awesome. Out of the box, I don't have any trouble with them other than maybe adjusting sensitivity. But a lot of these other games, I'm like, bro, I don't want to do this. Can you give me like a 2001 fucking move, like stick profile for acceleration and motion? It's like, that's all I want is I want like a linear acceleration curve and I want zero dead zone. That's what I want. And
I don't know the answer. I get
dude,
what
I think
saying.
if I'm being honest with you, like a little bit of conspiracy theorist in me is like part of the reason why they have these huge dead zones is one, I think the more obvious solution and why they have these crazy like acceleration curves is because of new players. They're like really twitchy with the fucking sticks. So it's very difficult to pick up first person controls if you've never played before. So having a big dead zone, having these like really weird like exponential acceleration curves, it's good for them.
Yeah.
But for me, it feels totally foreign. It's like I completely forgot how to walk. But the other thing is that I think a lot of these new controllers with a lot of this advancement, they have a lot of issue with stick drift. Mm-hmm. So if they don't have these big dead zones, when you're standing still, the character will start fucking moving because the stick drift is outside of the dead zone. So it's really weird. But all that said, complaining aside, I like the game so far. I'm really enjoying it. The combat's really fun. I ended up picking the Exo Soldier class, which is like he's kind of like a mix between like a sniper character and like a soldier character, where he's got like his three main abilities. One of them is like these shoulder cannons that are like auto turrets. Yeah. One of them is like these like blades that you can attack with in melee, and the third one is, I don't remember what the third one is, but there is a third one. I almost picked the Siren, and I heard that she's really OP, so I kind of wish I had picked her. Yeah. She's like the mage character where she can like throw fucking she can like get like duplicate herself and have like a buddy in battle, and she can like throw these like elemental bombs and stuff. But I was like, I don't know, everyone uses this character. But then the one character that I kind of want to mess around with is there's this like Gravatar or something like that, where she's like an engineer style character, but all of her abilities are gravity based. So she can throw these bombs that like suck characters in and like does all this like really cool kind of stuff. And then the last character is like a barbarian style character where it's like melee based, and he's got these fucking axes that he can throw and stuff like that. And it just like his like special character traits and stuff just really something I was that interested in. So I ended up going with like more of a vanilla kind of class, but I am really enjoying it. I will say I know that loot is like a big thing with this, but dude, if you've got analysis paralysis of any kind, these games are not for you, because it's like, dude, every 10 minutes my inventory is full with new gear. And it's like I have to go through it and like be like, okay, well, let's just sort by damage or sort by value and just delete everything below like the top 10% that's in my inventory. Yeah. But they do have this other feature that's kind of neat that I like. Destiny does this too, I believe, where it's like when you go back to a main base, they have a utility where it's like it's almost like a mailbox or something where you go up to it and it's like everything that you left on the ground. You can kind of look back over it. Right. But it has a limited capacity. But when it fills up, it overwrites the weakest gear with the next best gear that you pick up. So it's not like you're...
That way you don't feel like you're leaving the coolest thing behind.
Right. And to be honest with you, like when you see a blue item or you see a purple item, you're picking it up and looking at it anyway. It's all like the green and white shit that you don't care about so much. But the thing about this game is that all the guns are really bizarre. So you might find like a green gun that like it might not have as many accoutrements as like a blue or a purple, but it's got the shooting style that you like. Like maybe it's got the kind of feel that you like, and you may stick with that because you're more effective with it rather than these other guns. But dude, some of them are really cool. Like there's this one that I found this morning or yesterday where it's like the reload action is you throw the gun at the enemy and then it blows up, and then you just have another gun. So it's like this cool, and if you throw it and it doesn't hit an enemy, it like sits in the ground almost like a mine, and you can shoot it and it'll blow up. So like there's a lot of cool different little things like that and Borderlands has always been really cool about this type of stuff. But I will say that like, dude, look, there are every 5 feet there's a fucking box to open, and 80% of them have nothing but like ammo and money in them. So I'm already at the point where I'm only like level 10, which is not very far. I think I've been playing it for a few hours. Or maybe like 3 or 4 hours. And I'm already at the point where I'm just like, I'm just not opening any of these fucking lockers. Because I might get like $50 out of it. And I've got $100,000 in the bank. Yeah. So it's like, that's the type of thing where it's like, this could have been designed a little bit better. Like you could have put a little bit more, like they leaned so hard into like the loot everywhere fucking mentality where it's just like, there's just shit to open everywhere, and most of them just have ammo in it, and I don't really need it. So, but that said, the game's really fun. I like that it's even though it's cell shaded, it's a little bit darker than the last game. The humor is really good, although they do this thing where they like, and Destiny does this too, which drives me crazy, where you'll be like in combat and the fucking NPCs are talking to you over your radio. And I'm like, bro, I'm not hearing a damn fucking thing you're saying right now because I'm focused on combat. So can you please leave the dialogue to when I'm not shooting shit? And so that kind of annoys me that they do that, but yeah, all in all, I'm really enjoying it, and I can't wait to play more. Cool. So I don't really know what else to say about it, but
is there a story? Is there a story?
There is. It's like you're on a new planet, and it's like a new set of bad guys, and there's like this dude that's like seems like he might be immortal or something, and he can control everyone by like he's enslaving the entire planet by like installing these basically chips in their spine. Yeah. And he can he can control people through that. So you're trying to like basically free everyone from this by blocking all of that and taking him out. And he like somehow has access to a vault, and that's how he's immortal. And so you're trying to figure out what the fuck's up with that. Everyone's trying to get off the planet because it's such a shit show. And so yeah, I'm not really sure what the fuck's going on, but the game is really fun. And it's kind of cool. They have like the thing in their spine, and they're like, oh, well, why don't you just remove it? Well, they figured out that like part of the reason, like the psychos in the game, like the like crazy fucking bandit style bad guys, the way that they go insane, at least one of the ways that they go insane in this game and why they are the way that they are is because that's what happens when you just rip the chip out of their neck. Oh, okay. So like there's like a cinematic at the beginning where like, sorry, this is a minor spoiler, but there's like a cinematic at the beginning where these psychos corner this person, and then they just like rip the chip out of her neck and give her one of the psycho masks, and then she becomes like a fucking psycho because she goes crazy. Yeah. And it's I don't know, like the game, the world is really neat. Obviously Claptrap's in it, he's as annoying as ever. There's some neat new, like there's like a glider mechanic in it. There's like a grapple hook mechanic in it that I don't remember from the other games. But yeah, so far so good. I'm enjoying it. And and that's where I'm at for now.
Cool, man. Love to hear. I'm glad you're playing a new game. I hope to jump into something here soon. I don't know what. I kind of want to get back to. We were talking. I won't talk about all the games I played this year, but I did play that Lost Records Bloomin' Rage, and I know that the second part of that game is out now, and I have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
And I kind of was thinking about powering that back up, but it's just been a good year for games. I've gotten some good games in, but that.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, man. I think you'd love Shinobi. If you decided you wanted to play it.
I probably would. Yeah, that's right up my alley.
Or RoboCop.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I guess all that to say that we're going to get into news now. Every episode we talk about some PlayStation news. We don't have any listener feedback. If you want to write us, you know how to find us. psisawesome@gmail.com, or go ahead and leave us a comment on the Patreon site, or send us a message on YouTube. But the first news point that I wanted to bring up, Jake, is that word is Sony might be prepping a PS5 showcase or some major state of play between now and the end of the month. We're recording this in September. So reliable leakers, Nate the Hate among them, are tipping that this won't be just a small update, but something more substantial. Now, if this is true, this could line up with recent Sony patterns of doing these things in September. So lots of fans are excited. They're on edge to see maybe what kind of exclusives or hardware announcements might show up. I'm kind of curious about this. I think there's a lot of speculation that we could get finally some Wolverine. There's also some speculation that, we're going to get more Ghost of Yotei. And I don't know what else they would really show. Maybe Saros from Housemarque. There's been a rumored 2.5D God of War game. I don't know who knows what it's going to be. Maybe, doubtfully, but maybe we get another GTA trailer or something crazy to amp up that whole thing. That would be awesome. On a Sony thing, that would be like total domination. I doubt that will happen, but it is curious. Maybe we get surprised and see some. They've been talking a bit about the new Naughty Dog game quite a bit. It's been in the news. Maybe we get some gameplay from that, which would be cool. That's Intergalactic. The Heretic. Is it Heretic Prophet? Yeah, it is Prophet, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Jake, what do you think? Do you think anything cool if this happens? What do you think that they show?
So the one thing to point out is that next week is Tokyo Game Show. So I don't know if
getting old. Sorry. Oh, jeez. I think we lost Jake.
Anything
again.
that the Japanese audience that we'll get it's entirely possible that we'll get something along the lines of the Tokyo Game Show stuff, which I don't know that Wolverine falls into that camp, but I would think that it's about fucking time we see that game. So hopefully it's that. I'm more dubious about Intergalactic, just because if I have a feeling that that's the type of game that if they're going to show it anywhere, they're probably going to show it at like something like the Game Awards or something like that. Yeah. Because it's such a high-profile game. But maybe not. Ghost of Yotei, just fucking release the damn game now. We don't need to see any more of it. It comes out in like 2 weeks. 3 weeks. 2 weeks. Pretty close. It's I think October 1st or 3rd or something like that. The October 3rd I think is when it comes out. So I think 3 weeks. Saros would be an interesting one. I would be excited for that because I was a big Returnal fan. But I'm not sure if the time is right, but next year wouldn't be a bad bet for that game to come out based on the timeline. I mean, Returnal came out 5 years ago, so if Saros comes out next year, that would probably make sense. So we could see Saros. We could see Wolverine. We might see Ghost of Yotei. We probably won't see Intergalactic. Now, what I would love is a real fucking kick in the teeth with something like an Uncharted announcement.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Because it's been a long time, and there have been rumors abound about this fucking franchise for the last 5 years, it feels like. So, if they were to come out and just acknowledge, like, hey, Uncharted 5 or Uncharted, I don't know, Cassie's Fortune or Uncharted.
Man, Jake disappeared again.
I know what's up. I'm gonna close.
You're better now.
Yeah. So I don't know if it has anything to do with me having OBS open on my side. Closed it. We'll see if it helps or not. But
All right.
I think it's Discord, but who knows? So anyway, so it's kind of where I'm at with all the PlayStation stuff. Obviously, we could get some shit like more Astrobot stuff, or we could get something from. Trying to think if there's any other studios where we would really be. Maybe Fair Games, although I don't know. Maybe whatever the Sony Santa Monica thing is, Cory Barlog's thing that's not God of War, or
God of War
is not a mainline God of War. Or maybe even something like a new Gran Turismo game, or maybe something like
I don't know.
Dude, it could be a number of things, but if I was like putting money on it, it would be like, okay, probably Wolverine, because we haven't seen anything from that fucking game. They got to shit or get off the pot. And then maybe like that's probably going to be the big thing. And then maybe like a sneak peek at a Saros or like an Uncharted thing or something like that. But probably a lot of like third or second party stuff.
Yeah, all I do is kind of look at the news and look at what's picking up steam right now. A lot of shit about Wolverine leaking, not a lot, but enough little blurbs about it. There's blurbs about, there was just this latest thing about, and we're going to talk about it in a second, about single player being a focus still with Sony. So I'm thinking single player, got the Wolverine game coming out. Ghost of Yotei obviously is coming out. And my understanding is that it's got a lukewarm interest from most gamers right now. We'll see how it reviews, how it comes out, but they probably do want to push it just a little bit more. They might actually do more damage than good by pushing that game any harder than they have. But
You about Wolverine?
No, Ghost of Yotei.
Oh, yeah. I think they've done enough. I think we've done enough.
But I'm looking at things.
We know what we're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking around. I don't know. Neil Druckmann has been in the limelight for a bit here recently, talking about how he's putting his focus in the studio and he's not going to be involved with the Last of Us TV show like he was. And he's talking about how excited he is. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get something from Naughty Dog. It's about damn time, especially coming into the winter where there's not going to be anything. But we'll see.
Yeah.
It's hopeful.
It could be that Intergalactic is closer than we think, and maybe they're ready to show something.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, like, I'm excited for Intergalactic. Don't get me wrong. But I imagine that game is probably a couple years away or a year away at least. And so what I would prefer to see out of them is like, dude, I know that we're stands on this show, but fucking an Uncharted announcement would be so rad. They could just do that. They could just do that. Like they did.
I'm all in. Yeah,
and it would be awesome.
Yeah.
Everyone would be shitting their pants.
Just confirm that it's gonna fucking happen.
Fucking 2030.
Yeah, I don't even care.
Yeah,
just give me the song.
I don't know. They gotta say something.
I need something to live for. All right. Anyways, next news point, man.
It'll probably be like the next Uncharted movie is what it'll be.
Oh god. Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, touched on this a second ago. Sony aims to advance position as creative leader in single-player experiences. This is from an article in Push Square. And it just says Sony's putting renewed emphasis on single-player games, according to Push Square, like I said. So the piece suggests that despite market pressure pushing toward live service and multiplayer, Sony's doubling down on what has been a core strength, narrative-driven solo gaming. Upcoming titles like Ghost of Yotei are named as part of the push. The thing that's interesting about this is it's not even necessarily true. They have tanked so many live service games. I don't know what narrative-driven single-player games from Sony Studios have really released this year. I mean, maybe they've got more in the pipe. I bet you they just have more. We got Death Stranding 2, but I wouldn't even say Astrobot, because Astrobot's not really narrative-driven, I wouldn't think. And Ghost of Yotei, sure. I don't know, dude. I just don't know. I think they're trying to... I don't know. I think we don't know the Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet is a narrative-driven story game. Now, it better be. We don't know the Saros is for sure. Surely Wolverine will be, but we haven't even seen some of the games that they're referencing in this news article, and usually Push Square is pretty dead on. But it is interesting to think that this is still the focus for single player, and I'm not sure. The only quote out of all of this is there's just a corporate report from Sony, with the goal to advance their position as creative leaders in single player experiences, and that here's my thought on this. They wouldn't have to advance their position on single player creative experiences if they wouldn't have conceded that position to begin with and put their focus elsewhere. There wouldn't need to be a push to exemplify that they're great at this, right? That is not, wouldn't even be necessary. But all the gamers are just like, dude, where are the games at? Like, where are these single player games that you guys are so good at making? We haven't really gotten any of it. And Sony's been very guarded and very, very protective about their studios and what they're making. And then we saw the stuff with Concord go down. Now we don't even know if Fair Games is going to happen. We got Death Stranding, which is a single player narrative experience, but it is very much lives in a in a connected way. That game survives in a connected way with players that you don't really interact with online. But Death Stranding is its own freaking thing. Like it's an invented genre. I don't know if I would actually classify it. I would. I don't know. It's not. I want something linear and tailored. Not something so broad and open, which we're going to get to in a little bit when we talk about Naughty Dog. But I don't know, Jake. What's your take on them, to advance their position as creative leader in single player experiences? You think that's just lingo? Just like
it just sounds like words.
Yeah.
I don't know that it no one is sitting here saying that the single player games they've made in recent memory have been bad. Everyone says that they're great. They're just non-existent. So yeah, you could say that all you want, but the real problem is that in the time in between now and the last time, between Ghost of Yotei and the last single player experience that you released from Sony first party, Microsoft has released like fucking 15 first single player games. So not that any of them are to the quality of PlayStation, but that's the reason why gamers are upset. And so hopefully what they're sort of saying under their breath here is that they're going to focus more on it. Yeah, they still need to do the live service thing, but maybe they'll use external resources for that. And maybe they'll use the studios that know best on the single player stuff so they can try and get a better cadence. Have at least one or two or three big single player games per year, and gamers will be happy. I mean, if you had like a Horizon in the first half and an Intergalactic in the second half, I don't think anyone's going to be upset with that compared to what we've been getting, right? We had Ghost of Yotei, but before that, what did we get? Spider-Man 2? Was that the last one?
I don't even know.
A long time ago. So it's, they were talking about trying to have one big game a quarter, and now they're talking about having one big game a year, which is, this is like what built your brand. You need to have a little bit more care put into this. Now, am I saying that it's as big of a moneymaker as something like a Fortnite? Obviously not. But right. I think people would appreciate it, and it definitely identifies you as the premier console. Whether or not it matters as much monetarily as a business and making money and stuff, obviously that's probably not the case. But dude, you're definitely gonna if there is a console war to be had, and people are like, I could play Fortnite here or I could play Fortnite there, but the deciding factor is that I can play Uncharted over here, or I could play God of War over here, or I could play Soros over here, or on Microsoft's side, it's like I could play Indiana Jones, or I can play The Outer Worlds, or I could play, Clockwork, whatever. And it's like, I don't know, man. You want to convince people to come over. Now, it's not as big of an issue now that Microsoft is releasing stuff on PlayStation, but still, I don't know. I mean, there's something to be said about a brand. Obviously, they're doing it to make money, but every now and then, a brand needs to just whip out some big dick energy just for the sake of just reminding the world this is why they're the best. And I think that it does good. It's kind of like, why any of these big companies do these huge events, or like Red Bull, for example, does these crazy events where it's like, oh, Bruce Baumgartner jumps out of a fucking balloon from space and parachutes to the earth, or whatever. Felix
Did you know he died, dude?
I did hear that. What did he die from?
He was in a paragliding accident. He was in a paraglider, and he had a stroke or something while he was up there. And it wrecked, and he died. Yeah. How sad.
That's awful. The dude jumped out of a fucking spaceship.
Dude was a hero of mine, man. When that happened, I was just so enamored by what he did. It was crazy. But back to your point.
You get what I'm saying? Like, they do all this shit. It's not, it's not because the act of, like, Red Bull's the biggest fucking energy drink company in the world. It's not like somebody sees a guy jump a dirt bike on top of that fucking big ass building in France, in Paris, and they're like, oh, now I need to go drink Red Bull.
Right.
It's like, no, this is just fucking cool, and I associate it with this brand,
right.
And now I think Red Bull is cool, and so now maybe when I'm at the store and I see that, I'm interested and I need to drink a Red Bull because I want an energy drink. So it's like PlayStation, it's like, oh, The Last of Us comes out, and this is just a fucking awesome game, and it says PlayStation all over it. And it's like, yeah, I'm not really playing these games all the time, but when I see that and I associate it with PlayStation, I'm like, oh, PlayStation is fucking cool. When I want to pick a game console, I'm going to pick a PlayStation, even though I might not buy every first-party game.
Right.
But when somebody sees the internet explode because of the new Last of Us game, it's like, oh, that's the place I want to be, even though I might not be interested in that game.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that there's just something to be said about that, and I think that they need to, obviously, dude, fucking armchair CEO here. I don't know anything. I'm not a business person. I fucking suck at this stuff. But I think that it does, and obviously I want it, so I'm a little bit biased. But, like, bro, the reason why PlayStation got huge is not because of Fortnite. It's because of fucking Uncharted. It's because of The Last of Us. It's because of Ratchet. It's because of fucking God of War. And then once that proliferated the console, then everybody started playing Fortnite there because it was the most popular console, not the other way around. So,
right.
I digress. Actually, it's not a digression. It's on point.
It's a lot to think about. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Anyways, dude, let's move forward a little bit. I got rid of a news point that I didn't think was relevant. So let's go in. This next news point, there's a rumor, Jake, circulating that the PS6 might include a detachable disk drive. We kind of talked about this, I think.
We talked about it last week a little bit.
Did we talk about this?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we can just skip it, dude. I forgot this was on there.
Skip it. The PS6 is going to be digital, and you're going to be able to buy a detachable disk drive. That's how the PS5 Pro is. That's how it's going to be. Just expect it.
Yeah. Moving on, dude. So, even though it's not a Sony exclusive, Grand Theft Auto 6 is generating a lot of buzz relevant to the whole industry, Jake, including PlayStation. So, Rockstar is now openly hyping this game up, suggesting it might be the biggest game launch ever. Now, we already know it's going to be. Unquestionable.
Yeah. Dude, it's like, I mean, just look at GTA 5 and then think about how that game launched and how that game has progressed. I mean, dude, there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Right. So the thing is Sucker Punch were really stoked when GTA 6 got pushed back because this was going to be a competitive. It was going to just fucking... No one wants to release a game when GTA 6 comes out. Bottom line, it's going to be the only game that month, probably. Is it coming out like May? May 26th.
Yeah, your birthday, right?
Yep, 5/26/26.
We talked about that.
Oh man, it's gonna be great. Anyways, I just think it's worth remembering that this is something that's happening, and while this is not financial advice, might want to throw a couple dollars into Take-Two Interactive. Maybe not right now.
It's one of those things though where like I could see that for sure, but because you and I know it's going to be the biggest game launch in history,
everyone else is, and it's just not going to matter. Yeah,
it's
you're cutting out.
You will make a few bucks if you do it.
Yeah,
it's not going to be like a GameStop thing where you make $1 million because you put money in Take-Two over G.
Oh, we don't know, dude. What if this thing just sells? What if this game sells even more than they expect? Like just buku bonkers games, right? Like what if it's just like through the roof, unbelievable, the biggest selling game, unmatched. I mean, you could make some money, but you would have to invest a lot of money to make a good profit on this, probably. All right, we're back for the third time, having issues. Anyways, enough about Grand Theft Auto 6 hype. Jake froze. We were talking about the game. We're not telling you to invest money into Take-Two, but it's going to be a big-ass release. Let's move on to the next news point. We've got 3 left. We'll just do 2. We don't need to do the third one. Dude, I guess... where I wanted to go, I don't know, there are a couple. This isn't even a talking point. There's going to be a Netflix anime for Splinter Cell. There's a trailer you can watch, and dude, Splinter Cell becomes dorkier every time I see anything about it. It's like, he's got night vision goggles. That's like his thing. And it's just this sound. You know what I mean? Like that's his thing. Is he's got fucking night vision. Everybody has night vision now. But anyways, it looks all right. It reminds me of the old Batman cartoons I remember watching growing up. This style.
Have you played a Splinter Cell game?
No, I never played one.
They're actually really good.
I'm sure they're good games.
But, like from like they kind of wrote. I mean, obviously Metal Gear was instrumental, but outside of Metal Gear, Splinter Cell sort of wrote the book on stealth games outside of Metal Gear, obviously. Mm-hmm. So that's why people love them so much. It's just interesting how much the Ubisoft has just been kind of just bobbling this franchise. Like, either do nothing with it or just make a new fucking game.
Well, they're doing an anime.
But they're doing a Netflix anime, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it'll be really cool.
I can't wait for the next Dead Runners.
Oh, Cyberpunk. Yeah. We'll see how that plays out. The first season kind of fucked me up, so I don't know how much I want to jump back into it, but it was very good.
Yeah.
It was just like really heavy. So, do you know who's making the anime? Is it like somebody similar?
But it looks just like the old Batman, the Gotham Knight cartoons.
Are you talking about like the animated series from the 90s? Or are you talking about...
Yeah, that you could watch on TV as a kid.
Yeah.
The art style looks just like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, next news point. Sony has quietly released a new digital model of the base PS5 in Europe that ditches the terabyte internal SSD in favor of an 825 gigabyte version. This change is confirmed via updated packaging showing the lower storage spec. No announcement was made ahead of its arrival. The article suggests on Push Square that the reduction is meant as a hedge against future price increases rather than raising prices again. Sony may be cutting costs by scaling back on internal hardware. For many gamers, this means having to manage game installs more carefully or purchasing external expansion storage sooner than expected. To be clear, you can actually just install better internal storage also on these, I believe. So it doesn't have to be external. Yeah, I think it's a smart move on Sony's part. It's not good optics to continuously raise the price of your console the older it gets. And that's going to make it even more difficult when they go into pricing the PS6 for release. So they're going to want to have a nice gap between the cost of the PS5 and the PS6 to make the PS6 seem like the better console, So keep the price down on the PS5. That way when the PS6 is released, it's all optics for... Really, it's just sales 101. You got to make sure that the newer, shinier thing costs significantly more than the thing you're currently selling to add value to it. But Jake, what do you think about this move? Is that the way to do it?
I mean, the loss of
175 gigs.
The loss of 175 gigs of storage is going to be better than the price increase. So if that is the option, then yeah, you want to take the smaller storage. To be fair, this is the hard drive or the SSD size that is in the base PS5, the launch PS5. So it's not like you're going to a level that's as lower than you've ever seen before as far as storage goes. But it is just slightly lower than the increased 1 terabyte that was in the slim model. I don't ever really like the idea of them kind of nerfing a console. I personally think they should just take the fucking hit at this point. The console has been out for how many years now?
4, 5?
Just take the goddamn hit. The console's been out for 5 years, and you're increasing the price. This has never happened before.
Well, it's because they tanked the Concord, dude.
Yeah. That
we're all paying that price.
I know.
And our $75 controllers or whatever the fuck they are now.
But like on the other side of the coin, I've said this on the show a million times. I haven't maybe said it in a while, but 825 gigs, unless you're playing like only these massive live service games like Call of Duty and fucking Fortnite and stuff that are like 300 gig install sizes, 825 gigs is enough. Quit being a fucking degen and delete games off your fucking console if you don't think that that's enough. So, now I will say there are instances, like if you're a person that likes to dabble in VR, I can understand wanting to keep some VR games installed. Like let's say, like for example, I keep, and this is like a really big game, so I totally get it. I keep Gran Turismo 7 installed on my console. Because occasionally I like to throw on the VR headset and do a couple laps. But there is the annoyance too, where it's like if you haven't launched a game in a while, it won't update it. And so then you go to launch it and it needs to fucking update before you can play it because it's a live service game. But I will say that like I don't agree with this because I think they should just eat the cost. I don't think that it's necessarily they're doing it maliciously. I think that they are just trying to hedge and they're trying to not lose money as a business. They're doing smart business things. But at the same time, I don't think that this is that big of a deal. I think that most people are willing to give up that storage to keep the price the same. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, bro, these consoles are fucking expensive. So you could so let's say they're going to increase the price of the console by $100. You can go buy a bigger SSD or an expansion SSD for that price.
Right.
And you would have way more storage in there. So you might as well just take the lower storage now, keep the price the same, and then maybe when you save up a couple extra bucks, buy the expansion drive. Because I think you did that, right? You put an expansion drive in yours, or did you just replace the one that's in there?
No, I put a new one in. I put an additional in, I think.
Right, you put the expansion in, you didn't replace the original.
Correct.
One. So you have two in there now.
I must.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I think that's what I did.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, it's not something that I ever really have that interest in doing. Like I said, I mean, I play a game and then when I'm done with it, I delete it, and I play the next game, and when I'm done with it, I delete it. So it's never really been a problem for me.
Yeah.
But I totally get it for people who are into things like Warzone and stuff on the side while they're playing their 150 gig fucking single player game and all this stuff. I mean, yeah.
You want the YouTube app, the Prime app, yeah,
and then like the game, the console now stores, like when you get trophies, it stores all these fucking videos and shit that take up like gigs of space.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a way for you to like limit that or whatever, but by default it does all this stuff. So it's like, why the fuck is my console full? It's like, oh well, I've got 100 gigs of freaking videos on my console because it stores one every time I get a trophy.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So, yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. I think this is okay. I mean, it's better than a price increase.
Yeah. All right, last news point. This is a bit longer of a show. We're making up for all of our previous shorter shows. I promised we would talk about this. Naughty Dog's next big game, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, is shaping up to be one of their most ambitious titles ever. Neil Druckmann, head of the studio at this point, I believe, said that the studio is in the thick of it, quote unquote, and that the project may end up being their most expansive, possibly even most expensive by the time it's all done. The sci-fi setting jumps 2,000 years into an alternate future with a planet called Semperia at its core. Druckmann admitted the lore, rules of the universe, and narrative structure are more complex than what they've done before. Also of note, Troy Baker will be working with Naughty Dog yet again and is part of the cast, and he is going to be in it. And then there's a lead character, Jordan named Moon, M-U-N, was cast following an audition that involved Baker reading with the actress. That would confirm her fit. So in all of this, it seems that Neil has also indicated they are playing this game at Naughty Dog. They're able to play.
Oh,
this.
I'm sure. It's probably practically content complete at this point, but it takes a long time to do the polishing and all that other kind of stuff.
And we know they're super sticklers for this, but he was describing this to, I forget who it was, but he was describing this game and he went into detail. Just people were kind of fishing for information about the games, whoever was interviewing them, and it might have been Vanity or something. I don't remember where I saw this. And I'm going to paraphrase because I don't know exactly what he said. But he alluded that he was like, think about the direction we were going with a more open approach in like Uncharted 4. And, imagine that essentially mixed with what we're really good at doing. So it's like, dude, you and I have said time and time again how my least favorite parts of Uncharted 4 were the scenes where they were using the Jeep and the part in Lost Legacy where
the whole of Lost Legacy, yeah, where it's like all that open Jeep shit.
I couldn't stand it. It's not what I want from Naughty Dog.
I mean, I trust them to make something good, but I'm 100% with you on that. When his comments alluded to the fact that it was going to be a little bit more open, I'm like,
we already have that elsewhere. Like, we don't want Naughty Dog to do that. You know, stay in your fucking lane, guys, please.
I have yet to play an open world game that has as much impact as a handcrafted linear single player experience. And that's part of the reason why Naughty Dog games are so good, is because it is that linear, like beat to beat handcrafted experience. So if you're going to take handcrafted moments and just fucking scatter them across an open world, it's inherently going to be less good to me. So because the pacing is under the player's control, no longer under the creator's control. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to be too down on the game. I'm sure the game is going to be fucking incredible. So I'm not that concerned about it. It's just a little bit of it gives me a little bit of an icky feeling. But that's because of my personal taste, not because I think the game is going to be bad.
Yeah, well, I think about games like Red Dead Redemption 2 and how well they did the open thing with the random encounters and stuff. And I think about stuff like The Witcher 3, and even though it's dated now, just how immersive that game felt with all the side quests and how they all felt important. You know, I think there's a tasteful way to do an open world. I just don't know that we've 100% seen the full potential of a more open world game with a linear story. I think we're going to get a lot of awesome shit with Grand Theft Auto 6 for sure. I think they learned a lot from Red Dead Redemption 2. What stuck, what didn't stick. My only concern is that Naughty Dog hasn't really done an open world. So I don't want to doubt that team because they're just so talented. But it does concern me as a gamer because I know what they do, what I'm familiar with them doing, what I like and what I don't like. And the only things that I haven't enjoyed that Naughty Dog has done have been the more open worldy things. It just felt tedious.
Yeah.
Stuff just feels tedious.
Red Dead, you've kind of hit the nail on the head. I mean, Red Dead is really the only example, in my opinion, of an open world game that is truly benefited by it. Because the idea of that game is that you are a fucking cowboy. Mm-hmm. That is that game. You are a cowboy, and these events happen while you're being a cowboy.
Right.
But the thing about the Naughty Dog stuff is it's always been more focused, more tailored, more to the point. And so I wonder if they're able... Because, dude, I'm not going to lie, man. If I'm playing The Last of Us and I'm Ellie and this really traumatic shit just happened to me and I'm trying to get, like, revenge or whatever, the last thing I want to do is be slinking around and then I see a guy just standing there with a fucking exclamation point over his head and he's like, hey, I got a quest for you. Hey.
Yeah.
It sounds so fucking stupid to me. So I trust them not to do that. You know, I can't imagine they're gonna do something like that.
No, they won't.
But it's like,
it'll
you get
be like
what I mean.
You'll get like a radio transmission or something. Your character will be like, hey, it'll be like, this is Die Hard Man calling.
Oh God.
I don't, dude. That is one thing about Death Stranding too.
Even that game is great, but it is like the reason why these open world games suffer on a single player level or on a narrative level is because the pacing is left up to the character or the player.
Yeah.
So like, dude, Death Stranding is a great example. The first one, there was a point in time where I literally went like 20 hours between story missions.
Yeah.
Because I was doing fucking random deliveries and building roads and and shit like that.
Yeah,
So it's like,
I get it.
I'm like, what's going on? You know, so like, it's.
I kind of hope, dude,
thing.
that the Heretic Prophet, that you play as a bounty hunter that has like a real narrative story, and you're traveling from planet to planet. But the problem is, it says the setting jumps 2,000 years into an alternate future with a planet called Semperia at its core. Which means you're probably in Semperia, but maybe you travel off every once in a while, but that's like your home base. I don't know, dude, but I
think that game, I thought the idea was that she goes to that planet and it's a planet where nobody has ever come back from before. Like
Maybe
that's like a
what
thing
it is.
about
Yeah.
the story. So, but I see your point anyway.
Like, I think like you could do the Red Dead Redemption 2 arc with the space game if you were like a space cowboy, or if you were like a space bounty hunter, and the goal was just to find random fucking locations and track down people, and then you could bring in like part of like the random story beats that would hit as you walk into the local, I don't know, what was that thing in Star Wars? They called it the canteen or whatever.
Oh yeah, a cantina. Yeah.
Yeah, like you go into a place like that and then stuff unfolds. You know, that would be cool as shit. But like,
But it's more organic. Yeah, you're like playing the game. It's like in Red Dead, it's like I'm going to the fucking barber and getting my hair cut, and I'm going hunting, and I'm doing all this stuff. And then that kind of builds into like the emergent gameplay where it's like you're riding a horse down the road, and then you see like a guy being drugged by a fucking train down the tracks, and you're like, I gotta figure out what the hell's going on there. So you like go over to that, and then it leads
like
into
a
this
cross
whole
burning
side
in the
arc
woods or something crazy, and like
yeah, like, so I'm not to say that it can't be done, but we've just never gotten something like that out of them, and I hope that it's
they haven't
as
even
good as we know they can do it.
Yeah, dude, they haven't even given us anything basic in an open world, really. So like, it's just like there's a lot of.
I mean, they did the Uncharted stuff, but there was nothing to do. You just drove around an open space.
Well, The Last
so,
of Us,
yeah.
The Last of Us 2 also could be argued that those were bigger sandboxes, and those felt okay, but they still like, I didn't love that idea. Like I wanted, like, I just want like, here's a hallway. When you get to the end, you gotta go right.
Yeah.
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 Like, I don't want to fucking have any choice. I just want you to take me through the story. Let me play it. It doesn't matter. All right, that's the end of the news for today. And we do have a long freaking laundry list of freaking games. Dude, I'm just going to run through these as fast as possible because we do this every episode. I couldn't believe the number of games coming out this week. So
yeah, it's crazy.
So I'm just going to yell them out real quick, and if there are any that we want to come back and revisit, we can talk about. I'm not even going to give you the dates. It's runs September 15th to September 19th. All right? So Broken Lore Low, Lego Voyagers, Football Heroes League, Parasol Superstars, Henry Halfhead, Slime Heroes, U-Boat, Zoe Begone, Arctic Awakening, Bad Cat, Class of Heroes 3 Remaster, Dying Light The Beast, Formula Legends, Frostpunk 2, Hike Northern Lights, Moon Mystery, Platypus Reclayed, Puzzle Quest Immortal Edition, Shape Hero Factory, Wobbly Life, Alphadia 3, DreamWorks Gabby's Dollhouse Ready to Party, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree, Trails in the Sky, First Chapter, and Wander Stars. I will also say that Skate is available free to play now, I believe.
Yo, I forgot about that. I'll have to download it.
So that's the one.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure that I'm interested in how well Dying Light the Beast just kind of came that's sort of low, lying low. It's not really on anyone's radar, so I'm curious how that will go. I loved the first Dying Light game. I never played the second one, so obviously I'm not going to jump into the Beast. People loved the first Frostpunk game, but that's always seemed like a PC game to me because it's like an RTS kind of thing. So I'm not really sure why you would play that on a console, but it's cool that it's available. The one thing that I forgot to mention earlier is that I played a good chunk, like a few hours of the demo for Trails in the Sky first chapter, and it's really good. It's super anime, so if that's cringy to you, you won't like it. But I was actually shocked. I really enjoyed it. The combat was really fun in it. Like, it's got this kind of interesting story. It's very like wholesome. It was something that it was just really scratching the itch, and I kind of was bummed almost to move on to Borderlands because I was enjoying playing what I played in that. So I may actually end up going back and playing that whole game because I really enjoyed what I played. And it's a remake of Trails in the Sky, which is like, there's all of these Trails games. I don't know anything about it, but apparently Trails in the Sky is the first in the chronological order of all of these games. I'm not going to sit here and play all these JRPGs, but I may play this first one because it's new and it's fresh and it's clean and it seems like it's a good place to jump in. And I really enjoyed what I played of it. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah. Skate came out today. We're recording this on Tuesday, the 16th. So
nice.
Skate's out. And I will also say Sleeper coming up next week on the 25th. Silent Hill F is releasing.
Oh, yeah.
So that's something
people are excited about that, too.
Yeah. So
I'm saving some of those kinds of games for next month, the old...
scary, spooky season.
The old scary season. Although we got Ghost Yote, so I don't fucking know. I'll probably be playing that all month. Yeah. If I even get to it because of Borderlands.
Well, yeah, very good. I'm just so happy and relieved to put Death Stranding 2 behind me.
Yeah,
it was a good experience. All right. Well, anyways, that's it for episode 393. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm going to try to edit them out so that you don't realize that they even really happen much. And we'll be back next week, as we are every week. And if you guys want to support the podcast, again, it's psthisisawesome.patreon.com or patreon.com/psthisisawesome. I always screw that up. Anyways, you guys get the idea. Just go find us on there. Write us at psthisisawesome@gmail.com. We'll be back next week, like I said. And I've got nothing left for the listeners. Enjoy your week. Stay safe out there. And we hope to talk with you next week. Jake, do you have anything?
Nope. I'm starving, so I'm going to go eat something.
All right, sounds good. Like Watch Dogs Legion, Wipeout, Omega Collection, and Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. P.S.
Yes.
This is awesome.
This is awesome.